Hey friends, welcome back to the Coach T Show. I'm so excited that you're here today. And today's a really important episode. As you know, I am a business strategist and organic marketing expert. And one of the questions that I get across both businesses is always, well, what do I do? I'm not getting sales. What do I do? No one is buying. And this is a question that comes up whether someone has a service or they have a product. Maybe they're in network marketing, it could be any business, yet everyone seems to have the same question. Or it might be, well, I am getting some sales, but how do I up level and get more sales? How do I turn the sales that I am getting and make them consistent? If you've ever wondered any of those questions, then you are in the right place right now, because I'm going to give you the very 3 reasons why that's a problem for you right now. So not only am I going to tell you what the issues are, I'm going to help you figure out how to solve them. So I'm looking forward to doing that with you on this episode. So number 1, if you are having trouble getting sales, keeping consistent sales, you might have the wrong product. Now, for many of you, you're going to say, well, what do you mean? I've created this business. I sell what I sell. Maybe you've got a physical product. Maybe you are certified in a certain type of service that you deliver, right? So what do you mean? I'm not going to be able to change my product. That's not going anywhere. Well, what I mean by that is, one of 2 things are going to need to happen. Either the way that you are presenting the product as it stands, right, is something that the clients don't really understand, which is something that we'll get to in a second. But maybe you're presenting too many products or services at once. So sure, you're a life coach, but maybe you're offering 6 different packages instead of focusing on the package that people want to buy at that time, right? Maybe you have a digital course and you were focusing on selling all of your digital courses instead of the digital course that people are ready to buy at that specific time. And what happens is, it's not that the product is bad. It's not that any of your products or services is bad. It's frankly the fact that people are getting overwhelmed by the decision of which service or product they should go for. And this decision goes, well, let me look at this one. Then let me look at this one. And suddenly the next thing you know, they're not looking at anything because they're totally overwhelmed. They have no idea which one they need. I mean, think about you. How do you purchase things? When someone gives you a lot of options, how quickly do you make a decision? How quickly do you pull the trigger and decide to make the purchase? Or are you someone who goes back and forth? I know personally, I'm one of those people who may have several tabs open. And if someone gives me too many decisions, it may take me some time to actually make the decision. Well, the same things happen in our own businesses. So you may be offering too many things. And what I would say in that regard is to take the thing that will sell right now. That might be your signature product or service. It may be something that's really hot because it's the perfect time seasonally. It may be something that's hot because it is a need that people that are your ideal audience are having right now. And now is the time that they would go ahead and buy. So those are things that you are going to want to be thinking about in terms of product. The other thing is, a lot of you, especially in the service industry, have a great skill set, but maybe the product is not targeting the right people who are ready to buy right now. Maybe the product is good, but you're focusing on some aspect of the product that people don't really need right now. And by that, I mean, we've got to make sure that the product is something that the market wants. We need to make sure that the service is something that the market wants. And it doesn't mean that you pivot and you shift completely in a totally different direction, but it means you make tweaks to listen to the market. And that's going to be really important. I had a couple of people come to me during a live webinar that we had, and they sold various products. They worked with this company and they said, well, should I be selling the weight loss? Should I be selling the tea? Should I be selling the frozen meals? I said, well, which one of those things is selling the best right now? Which one's selling the best? So they told me, the meal plans. Well, then the meal plans is what you should sell now. Get enough traction with the meal plans and then go out and start selling the other products. Well, why? Well, first of all, whatever you're doing with the meal plans is working. Why don't we amplify that positive result? And then once we get that positive result amplified, we could pivot and start learning, hey, what worked over here that we could apply to these other products or services that may not be selling as well. So focusing on the right product is key. You can't get away from it. Now, that might not be the reason why people are choosing not to buy with you right now, or to buy with you consistently, but taking a look at your products is certainly something that needs to be done. And what you might do is just some simple market research. Sometimes I'll put out a blind survey, okay? And I'll tell people, hey, this survey is completely blind. I won't know who took the survey, but tell me, what do you think about XYZ? What do you think about these products? What do you specifically need right now? Tell me. And then I listen to the research that comes back to me and I say, okay, well then based on this, we'll put this product out right now, even if I wanted to promote a different product. Well, that's not what the market wants. So I pivot. So that's one of the areas that you need to take a look at. And maybe if you're not ready to use a survey software, you might just send out emails. You might just ask friends who are your ideal customer or client, family that's your ideal customer or client, or even those people who bought from you in the past, and just say, hey, I just want to know. And you will be very surprised at how readily people will respond to you and be able to address, your concern. So that's one. Now, the second is you might be marketing this thing all wrong. It might not be the product. Your marketing may be what is at issue. And what I mean by that is, the way that we present the products or services that we have has a lot to do with the way that they sell. So we might be presenting it in a way that doesn't create urgency. So people think, hey, this is a good product. I'll buy it later. I don't need to buy it now. So maybe you're not talking about why they need the product now. Maybe you're not talking about the bonuses that they can get now, okay, that will be gone if, they buy outside of the time period. Maybe the marketing is targeting the wrong people. You've got this specific type of marketing that's targeting this age group and subset, but these people are not the ones who are ready to buy right now. The people who need to hear this are the subset over here who are ready to buy right now. Notice, you don't have to change your product or service at all. We're just changing the language and the type of marketing that we're doing so that the right audience comes over and starts paying attention, okay? So that's another thing that you need to think about. In terms of marketing, it's also, where are you marketing? Some of you are on Facebook, some of you are on TikTok, some of you are on Instagram, some of you are writing blog posts, some people have YouTubes. And it really comes down to not doing all the things, but being the places where your audience is and being there consistently and being there with content that is good enough for them to continue to want to watch, right? It might be, hey, collaborating with someone else. Maybe you collaborate with another coach, another entrepreneur, right? An influencer, someone like that. And that marketing might be just what you need to get in front of your ideal audience. So maybe you've got the perfect product. Maybe the people who you've been marketing to are not the people who are going to buy right now, but someone over there, they've got the audience. So collaborating to form a better marketing plan would be something that you would need to look at. So how do you figure this out? Well, again, we're going back to the well. We're going to survey. We're going to ask people. So what are you reading now? Which social media platforms are you currently spending a lot of time on? Which ones do you not care for so much anymore? Do you like to consume video content? Do you like to consume stagnant content? Do you like infographics? What do you mostly consume? Asking these questions to your ideal client will get you the answers that you need to figure out what is the very best type of marketing. Now, everybody thinks, hey, we should all follow the crowd, follow the leader, right? If everybody's doing video marketing, we should all be doing it too. Well, your crowd may be a crowd that doesn't have time to click on a video. Your crowd may be people who digest information with an infographic because they're always on the go. They don't have AirPods, they don't have headphones, so they'd never play a video, right? Then you need to recognize that and not make videos. So creating the marketing that speaks to your audience is of the utmost importance. Now, number 3 is your rapport is wrong. Well, what do I mean by that, right? Well, I mean, when you are engaging with people who are potential leads for your service or product, you engage with them and then it's done. So you've got a conversation going, there's an interest on their part, The deal is not closed. They have not chosen to buy or move forward yet, but that's normal, okay? But you've done nothing to nurture the relationship along the way so that when they are ready and primed to buy, that you're the first person who they decide to go with. If you don't nurture along the way, you lose all rapport. And then the next person, right? The next person who keeps in contact, who's sending emails, the next person who's checking in on them, okay, with maybe text messaging or DMs, gently, of course. That person is who's going to be top of mind to them. One of the ways that I teach my clients to ensure that they're able to continue rapport is by using either a Facebook group or a private app community. Meaning every time that you're meeting people on social media, whether you're meeting them on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, that you're always sending them to maybe a Facebook group platform that's yours, maybe sending them to an app community. So what we're able to do there is expand upon the topics that got them interested in you in the first place. And those topics are the topics like, the topics that are coming up in your content, right? So the topics that you were talking about on TikTok that made them so excited and lit them up, well, we continue with those topics over on Facebook, in our Facebook group or in our private app, so that we can continue to teach and give free resources that provide mini transformations that cost literally nothing to the person, that keep them binging and watching the content. And we contain them in our house, which is either your Facebook group or your private app community. And with that, you continue to build a long-standing rapport before you ever ask for anything. And you will find that when you constantly give out of service, provide resources, serve, that people are moved in ways that they would never be moved otherwise. And that movement leads to sales. That movement leads to purchases. That is a big, big deal. Now, many of you, are on platforms like Facebook and Instagram with people who you went to high school with people who you went to college with family and friends. And the reason is because there is no way on this earth that you would ever have enough time to go on your phone and text these people every week. So all 3,000 of your friends, could you send them all one text each week? The answer is absolutely not. So we keep up with them in mass format, right? We make our post on Facebook. We see their post on Facebook, and that little connection makes it okay, we've connected with each other. We know what's going on. It keeps it going. Well, Facebook groups are just like that. Private app communities are just like that. And they allow us to keep touch with people so that they can view content, they can check in with us. And even though we may not be talking to them one-on-one each day, we're able to still maintain the connection. Now, the reason why I bring up private app communities is because some people are just simply not a fan of Facebook. And that's your own prerogative. And if that's the case, you still don't get out of the fact that you absolutely need to be nurturing your audience. And if you're nurturing your audience, you can do so in a private app community. I mean, the downside is that you're going to have to pay for it, but it becomes your app. You're able to contain your people, and they're able to engage in a community format, right? And you're able to provide free resources. So if you are having trouble right now with sales is a real problem for you in your business. Consistency in sales is a real problem in your business. You're going to find there's probably one of three things. Your products are wrong, your marketing is wrong, or your rapport is wrong. So you might want to change those things so that you can start getting sales. Now, I do want to answer one question that came up during our masterclass. And so the question was, Coach T, do you believe in DMs? So very good question, because anyone who has an online business has struggled with this, has pondered about this at some time or another, right? And so the answer is this. I believe that we should freely have as the entrepreneur, DMs open, and that people who come to us can ask questions, and we might point them in the direction of a course, of a product, of a service, or something that we have. In terms of our business, we have never sort of gone out there and DM'd people on the outside. And maybe, in an off chance that someone is posting something somewhere that seems like it is relevant to what we do, right? We think we might be able to help them, and they're really looking for someone. They've openly said it. Then we might send them a message publicly and ask if they would mind if we send them a DM. We might have some ideas, and we do that. Other than that, we provide free resources to people. People will choose to DM us, asking for, ways to continue to get that content, maybe, in a paid format, but we don't go out and do that. And I find that, when you are posting content consistently, when you've got a good product, you've got a good marketing plan, and you're really good at nurturing people, you don't even need to go out and find people to DM, because people DM you. Okay. So those would be my thoughts on the DM method. One of the other questions that we got over in the masterclass was, well, which platform should I be on? Should I be on all the platforms? TikTok is picking up. Should I be on that? I'm already on Instagram and Pinterest and YouTube. So this was a question that someone gave us live. And so the answer is you should be on probably 2 platforms. So 2 platforms such as YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram. And you should have a third place where you house people, which is, again, your Facebook group or your private app community. And the reason why we narrow it to 2 is because creating the content, that takes time, takes creativity. And so if you're trying to be everywhere, then you can't be consistent. And that's something early on in the business that I, struggled with. And even now, I'll admit, sometimes people say, oh, have you heard about this? Why don't you get on that? And then I think, oh, I've got to be there. But I'll tell you, I maintain traction, consistent traction, when I am limiting the number of platforms that I'm on and I am showing up there regularly with good content. Then people are deciding that they want to move forward with me, that they want to ask questions, that they want to join our Facebook group, that they want to be part of our master classes, our masterminds, our private coaching programs. So that is the trick. Not being everywhere, but being the places where you decide to be, and be there well, and be there consistently. So I hope that you find this helpful to you. And with that, you've now got the 3 ways you may not be getting sales. And now you know how you can fix them. So I'm excited to see you on the very next episode. And that's it for now. I'll see ya.